Right, it is Sunday. I've done a little update on this Musella Lasiocarpa Wednesday, so 4 days ago, and it had a roller, and just in them 4 days with this nice spring sunshine, the leaf has already started to open up and unfurl, so that's pushing. That's a good sign. I know it's not really spring yet, but on a day like this it is all intents and purposes spring. Another sign of spring, pests. So we've got the Schefflera delevii here, and the big leaves, Schefflera, and yeah, nearly every leaf. I can't see my viewfinder, you have to bear with me, I'm not pointing exactly the right place. Every leaf has had some sort of damage on it, something's been eating it. That is annoying. I mean, some of them there's literally nothing left to the leaves. Nevertheless, I did take down one of the shelters over this Washingtonia robusta. Like I say, we've got no freezes forecast for the next couple of weeks, and if we do get the odd frost, I can chuck a fleece bag over it. That whole shelter thing was annoying me because that's just a polytunnel frame with a bit of plastic like that. Did blow about in the wind and make a bit of noise. Served its purpose. This sort of protected the Washingtonia pretty well. Obviously some of the older leaves are totally browned, but most of the new foliage, the last 3 or 4 leaves, are all looking nice and green. It is, this time of year, still one of the biggest leaves in the garden. So yeah, that's fared winter okay. So by taking that down, that's allowed me to move my bridge back, and I obviously took the opportunity to give that a paint first. I say paint, a stain. So that's sort of a dark cedar, so that's just freshened that up a bit. So little jobs like that, get them out of the way now before the bigger jobs come later on. I did also clear the pond out. So the Wednesday video I done, this was pretty much all covered in the watercress, sort of almost strangling the pond. So what I've done is I've pulled most of it out, just left a bit either side, so where there's running water, that grows best in moving water, and that filters the pond water really well. So yeah, we've got the sort of waterfall there with some watercress, and the other side we've got the tub with the pink china in, and that's now filtering as well. And yeah, we've got a big pile of watercress there. I don't tend to eat it, I'm not a fan of it, but what that has done is totally opened up the pond, and you won't see a lot of these fish, because even though they're sort of goldfish and shabumpkins, a lot of them are black, but you have to take my word for it, there's quite a few fish in there, believe it or not, for a small little pond. They seem to do okay. So I did turn the pump off over winter, but yeah, we've opened up again now. The fish were starting to move, starting to come alive, and there's a lot of frogs in there as well, so I didn't want them to start laying frog spawn before I cleared it out, and all frog spawn all caught up in all the junk I wanted to pull out. But yeah, so that's opened up. Fish are looking happy, they've got plenty of room to swim, and that also reveals that the water lilies have started coming up. You can see the rolls of the leaves nearly touching the surface, or some of them are touching the surface. There's one of the little goldfish. Yeah, so that's sort of opened up. I pulled out a lot of leaves and that, what fell in there as well. I have no doubt whatsoever in the next couple of weeks we'll have some movement on the pink china. Yeah, the American little palm island at the back is doing okay. Like I say, all the palms here, we've got the saw palmetto, the excuse me, we've got a little sable minor there, we've got a needle palm, and then we've got the mountain queen palm. All looking pretty good, to be fair. No damage on them, just with that little shelter over the top. Yeah, so the queen palm actually is on there. This is the newest leaf coming up here, and even on the very tips, no damage. Really good, happy with that. We have got a Phoenix canariensis leaf coming over that's got some brown tips on it, but that's one of the leaves I'll be cutting off in the next couple of weeks, along with some of these lower leaves, just to tidy that up a bit and open up the garden, because yeah, this leaf is right in the way at the minute. But to be fair, now I've opened the pond up, that leaf will discourage herons from landing, because that's, you know, sort of moving in the wind. The herons used to have a big problem with herons, I think with the shelter as well. That sort of put them off, but this leaf will definitely scare them off, any movement from that. But once that's gone, I'm going to have to do what I done last year and just put some canes, bamboo canes in with some fishing line, so it's barely noticeable, and yet that'll just be a physical barrier to stop the herons getting in and help themselves to all my fish. So yeah, that's a few little jobs, you know, every little job, you know, you feel like you're a little bit closer to spring. One I'm really looking forward to is, obviously, other than taking down the palm shelters, yeah, getting this planted up. Really looking forward to that. Yeah, so in the meantime, it's just little jobs here and there. To be fair, I'm going to be quite busy over the next month. I've got another project on. Basically, my daughter's moving out, she's bought a new house, and I'm going to be doing that up as well, so that's going to be tight for time, as well as working full time. Albeit I do work shifts, so I'm all over the place with my work hours as well, but I'll make it work. When you like or love something like I do with my tropical gardening, you make time for it. Yeah, so I did take off I had a little tiny cheapy greenhouse over this Princeps, Trachycarpus Princeps, which was transplanted last year, just to keep the worst of the winter off. It's not looking happy. I didn't think it would, because when I dug it out, I don't know, it didn't seem to have whether I broke a lot of roots or whether it just didn't have a lot of roots, I don't know, but the leaves have sort of closed up, and they've been like that all winter. So I did cut off a few leaves before I dug it out, but what I'm going to do is cut off all these lower leaves, because one of them's already started dying back. And yes, I know leaves will give nutrients back to the palm, but also what that's doing is putting a strain on the root system, trying to support leaves that will eventually die anyway. So I think I'll cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves off, and we'll just keep the 3 leaves at the top that are opened, and we've got 2 spears coming out there. So that'll take the strain off the plant a bit, and hopefully put some more roots in before that looks a bit happy. That will sulk for the rest of the year. So I did move it late summer last year, just because I wanted to move it when the ground was still warm, so it could settle in a bit. But like I say, it didn't seem to have a lot of roots for whatever reason. So that's going to be a bit of a recovery project this year. But again, once the rest of this is planted up, that can be in the background until that comes into full growth next year, hopefully. Right, so I do love this time of year, especially when I hear the frogs croaking. And when I cleaned out the goldfish pond and started up the pump, there was a few newts, and that got caught up in the filter box. I had to, well, I'd say the filter box, the pump case, and I had to make sure that was clear before I turned it on, because I didn't want to hurt any little animals. But let's just, no, I was going to do a bit of frog stalking for you, but I think I scared them off earlier. But I've been hearing them croaking in the background all day. There's, every time you walk past this area, you see all the legs kicking where they're you've spooked them. But yeah, there's a lot of frogs in there, and next few days or week or so there may well be a fair bit of frog spawn. As we can see, we've got some bumblebees. I think I just spooked him, loving this these hellebores. I've been seeing a lot of bumblebees on these, and they're sort of on their way out, the flowers on these now, but very good source of food for the early bees and hoverflies. So we've got some more hellebores over here, and obviously you've got the primulas flowering as well. So yes, a bit of early food for them. Oh yeah, there's a big bee there, didn't see him. Yeah, just really what to, you know, I've been potting about all day. Really, I did get round to repainting, restaining the summer house as well, because that was starting to look a bit shabby. So that's all been freshly restained. I haven't done the decking, but there's a lot of junk on there, sort of the lawn furniture and stuff, which I didn't really feel like pulling anything off for that. But I have noticed that decking is starting to looking a bit worse for wear. It's a little bit soft in a couple of places, so probably not this year, because I'm, like I explained earlier, got quite a lot going on over the next couple of months. But next year, that'll be a spring next year job, just to either redo the decking there or rip it out and just have some planting pockets either side, and a path going to the summer house. I haven't made my mind up on that yet. We don't really sit on this decking area here. Mainly because I think by this time of year it's not too bad, but sort of come summer, that's pretty much in shade, where the sun's a bit higher and that's a different angle, so it's a bit shadier. So it's nice on a really hot day, but we don't really sit up here much. I like to sit in the sun. That'll be time for these to come out soon, so we'll finish up in here. So this is inside of the summer house. This is not heated at all. It has got a clear panel on the roof, so it does act like a little greenhouse, and obviously with the windows and doors at the front here as well. So that has obviously dropped below freezing point in here, but there's a lot of tender stuff and everything's looking pretty good. I say everything's looking pretty good. I mean, most of the agaves are absolutely fine. A lot of the smaller palms, absolutely fine. Queen palm, absolutely fine. Giant bird of paradise, I have given a few bits some water in here last week, because that's obviously been quite warm. The only thing that's not looking brilliant, but I had the same thing last year, was the agave attenuata. Slightly spotted on some of the leaves. That is just a little bit of cold damage, but again, we did get below freezing, and even the very small ones over there, they've gone quite spotty, but not a big deal. The centre leaves are looking good, and once they get outside, and they do tend to flush out pretty quick and outgrow that. If I was really fussy, I'd have put these in the conservatory, the agave attenuata, because they're probably the most tender, cold sensitive plant I've got in here. Everything else, all the agaves are pretty cold tolerant, but yeah, they are ones that are soft leaf, and they really don't like going below freezing. They will take it, as we can see, but they will look a bit a bit stressed, let's say. But yeah, everything else is absolutely fine. So again, by the end of the month, we're sort of towards the middle of March now, so hopefully by the end of the month, depending on the weather, all these plants will come out. We will have to acclimatise them to the sun because they're not getting a huge amount of direct sunlight in here, and what they do get is through glass, so it does take away some of the UV which you'd naturally get if you're out in the direct sun. Yeah, so that's what's going on in there. Right, I think I'm gonna sit and relax for a bit. As like I said, I've done my work for the day. Food jobs, just little background jobs, nothing, you know, oh look at this, just little jobs that you have to do, which is sort of just background jobs really, but stuff that has to be done, and that sort of sets the scene and gets you in the mood for the bigger jobs. Right, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. We will catch you on the next one.